Hi there, and welcome to the weekly market update dated August 16, 2021. Please note that these videos are for educational purposes only and not to be taken for advice. If you need to know more, please visit our website at www.estetrader.com. So first, we're going to look at the macro fundamentals and looking at medium and high impact news. Today, there's really nothing much in terms of here in the US or North America in general. We have low impact news right there, but the medium impact news will happen in Australia at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then tomorrow we have core retail sales, something to be aware about. Federal Chairman Powell is going to speak tomorrow at 10:30. And then in the evening, back to Australasia, you have the Kiwi official bank rate right there, Royal Bank of New Zealand monetary policy statement, rates minute press conference. So there's going to be some opportunities there for the Kiwi. And then CPI, core CPI based on the pound. Wednesday, there's some medium to high impact news based on in Canada. Then later on in the morning, we have FOMC meeting minutes and 6:30 p.m. employment change and unemployment rate. Back to Australia. Thursday, there's a Philly Fed's unemployment claims, and Friday, just simply core retail sales as a medium impact. All right, so those are the major news that you need to be aware of based on the micro component in news for the medium high impact news for the week. All right, let's go through and analyze the macro fundamentals as well based on the S&P. Looking at a weekly chart right here, notice there's a divergence within price, within the volume. It's actually depleting. I'm not a proponent of buying at this point. It's in the blue sky territory, and there's a lot of divergence. I believe there's something is bound to happen within the week. I'm more bearish short term than bullish. Volatility index right at this point in time is also within the constraints of the demand, and it finishes like this, higher low than easy. Next one, we'll go back around the 24, 25 even, in terms of the volatility. So that being said, being Monday too, they push it down to 44.40 earlier. It'll be very interesting what's going to happen at the end of the day, because Biden's also going to speak at lunchtime later on. All right, looking at daily volatility, there's that gap. I know they have to fill that gap one point in time before it can continue. And then let's look at the dollar index on the weekly. I am bearish with the dollar index medium term, but longer term actually still bullish with it to retest around the 93.50 heading. If you're watching the my market updates, around the 97.50 is major target point through there, somewhere around this price point, okay, around that 97 area. All right, oil, based on the daily of the dollar index, is forming a higher low, but because of such a forceful candle to the downside, mind you too, though, it's an uptrend. So my opinion, there's just a slight correction before a continuation, creates another higher low, then it will be pushed up. So it all depends based on the news that's going to come. As far as I'm concerned, it will create a Morningstar pattern where tomorrow we're very bullish and it can continue to go to the upside. All right, so that caused as well for oil to drop earlier, but now it's forming a hammer. So we've been bearish since actually August 12. Now it's the dynamics of it. Now it's currently changed. There could be an opportunity for going low actually. So, but the weekly time frame, it is settling within this area of demand. It's a from correctional standpoint, and hence, if it finishes somewhere, actually depending on what the daily time frame is going to be, it could easily create a Morningstar pattern through there too, and can continue all the way to 75 around that area. 75, and it goes beyond 76.97, 95 actually. All right, so there's an opportunity there too. So bullish basically for the week. Okay, that would be the same with crude oil. Same pattern as WTI, West Texas oil. Daily time frame, really good opportunity if it creates a higher low in a short-term time frame. Actually, it's already forming it. So from a 4-hour perspective, still pretty expensive though, like about $1, maybe a 1 hour, you can only see there, right? So 1 hour it creates, if it comes back to around the $69 mark, even better, then that's when I'll consider buying oil. Let's look at gold. Gold is approaching a supply level from a very forceful candle. So there's also an opportunity here to basically short gold. I would be looking into that one. And notice though on a weekly created basically a hammer through there. So I'm also being aware with that. So there's an opportunity right there. But in order for this to really move, they need to also fill in this lower shadow. But as far as I'm concerned, it can all the way back to 1825, then come back down once again. So when that happens, depending on what it's going to do, depending on what the dollar index is going to do, if the dollar index is going to, mind you, at this point, there's some form of divergence. If the dollar index will continue to drop, then gold will continue to go further to the upside. And hence, that's what we're going to look in terms of the major currencies pretty shortly. Copper, if you can see here, simply from a higher low perspective, I'm still bullish with copper since also in an uptrend. However, but because of this lower high, they could easily retest back down to 412 as well. So really good demand levels is 423, 424, and 416. Okay, so just something to be aware of. Currently, from a lower high perspective, short term, bearish, getting easy back down to what I said about that 412, right? So there's this demand that's pretty strong that's currently holding the price. All right, TYX currently down, but looking at the weekly time frame, it's also bearish because it also created that Gravestone Doji right there from a hammer Gravestone Doji. If it doesn't want to play the game, lower high, easy. This is going to head back down to 170. All right, so short term, based on the weekly, I'm bearish with the yield, the Treasury 30-year yield. Can easily head back around that 170 mark right there. All right, daily time frame. They need to fill in that gap. So that 180, unless it rebounds higher low, new higher high. And that's another higher low that will create either a new higher high, but once a lower high will form, then it's going to basically fail. But we're going to go through that, as time progresses. But simply from a weekly market perspective, then it's basically bearish. Aussie, US dollar, simply still very weak at this point. If gold is going to revert, if the dollar index is going to be bullish and gold is going to be weak, then Aussie is going to be still bearish from this perspective. However, the price is also at demand, and hence that's against basically the rules of supply and demand. So from a daily time frame, notice they're fighting it, and hence is why within that weekly you see some dojis, right? They're fighting. So this is a good strong demand point. Right at this point in time, I'm a buy from a daily perspective because the price is at demand. But if it breaks out through there, then easy, this is going to head back all the way down to 70 cents. All right, so that's within the Aussie. Euro weekly time frame created basically a hammer right there. Did it create a new lower low? Let's see. 17,059, 17,04. No. So from a higher low perspective, then there is still an opportunity for this medium term. Actually, from a correctional standpoint, I'm basically bullish with it. So we already went long and simply closed some of the certain positions and holding it. And if the right time comes once again, creates another proper higher low, then we'll just good for buying. All right, pound against the US dollar. Something that has its own mind. I'm bullish with the pound against the US dollar, to be honest with you. because of this very bullish candle that happened the week of July 26, 2021. Daily time frame, it is settling within here from a correctional standpoint of the 38.2. So there is still good opportunity for buying through there. And Kiwi, because of this very bearish candle, lower high, simply there is opportunity for selling until around the 69.50, 69.30. But once it approaches to a certain price point, then also good buy. Excuse me. All right, so there is opportunity through there. We're just going long and short. There's opportunity in terms of a better price point of buying. Dollar CAD, really nice medium term. So the Canadian dollar is actually pretty weak because of oil at this point. There is still an opportunity for this to head back around to retest 128. So if oil will keep dropping, then CAD will also keep dropping. And if the dollar index will continue its move, then the dollar CAD will continue. But nevertheless, it has its own mind. Currently priced at supply. A better price point of getting was around here, 25.30. So yeah, but because of such a bullish candle at this point, it finishes like this, odds and probability will continue to break 126, heading to 127, 128 is highly probable. All right, dollar Swiss, in terms of its weekly, from a gravestone doji perspective, in my opinion, there's an opportunity here to head back around at 90.60. There's another 60 pips to the downside. So I'm bearish with the dollar Swiss as a form of a corrective mode. And when time opportunity or the best price point of buying, because it also create a lower high here, right? So either a new lower low or a higher low, since that higher high has also been formed. So I'm going to create maybe perhaps around the 91 flat before I can continue to go and move to the upside. All right, so that's with the dollar Swiss. One more, dollar against the Japanese yen. Dollar Japanese yen is currently bearish. Yen has been strong at this point in time. And, you know, it's currently actually leading. So there's also that in terms of within the S&P relation within S&P. S&P is currently lagging at this point in time. All right, but at least the S&P actually tested certain price points, and hence back to around the demand from a lower high, either breakout from lower low. A really good price point of good demand is around that 109, so another 20 odd something pips to the downside. So weekly, I'm sorry, here that 108.35, I beg your pardon. I was looking at the numbers over here. So 108.35 here, a really good price point. So that's another 90 pips to the downside, and hence, yes, the price is approaching demand, and there's a look at the amount of force through all that. Okay, so yeah, either you create a new higher low, if it stabilizes itself a higher low because of that higher high, then back to the buying. Other than that, it's going to retest within this strong area of demand. All right, so that's basically in terms of the weekly market update. I hope you got something a lot out of that. If you like this type of videos, please make sure to hit the subscribe button below. Leave any comments, or if you have any questions, feel free to email us at estraders@gmail.com. Thanks very much for listening. Take care until next time. Happy trading and good luck for the week. And make sure to subscribe to the button below, and also join our trading community on Telegram, and the link is simply below as well. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye now.